Hey guys, Redbeard here from the Warrior Tribe. I'm sitting here doing a little bit of cooking, a little prep work, trying to get some stuff done for my wife. She wants some soup made for the week, and I'm trying to make some lentil soup for my lunches to switch up my lunch routine. It's getting a little boring eating the same thing every day. So I thought while I'm sitting here processing these chickens that I bought, a 3-pack that was really cheap, I thought, hey, this might be a good opportunity to show you guys how to deconstruct a chicken. Some of you might know this, but some of you may not, and a lot of people don't know how to do this. And it's a big reason why people won't buy whole chickens when they go on sale, because they're like, well, I don't want roast chicken every day. But the nice thing is you have all the components of chicken on here, and if you have some simple skills, which I can show you, you'll be able to break these down into different components and have different types of meals available. And if you do this, you can save yourself a ton of money. Every time a butcher picks up a knife and touches it to a bird to do any sort of cut or any type of meat, you're paying extra for that processing fee. Okay, so when you buy the whole bird at the store when they're on sale, that's the cheapest you're going to get your chicken. You get 2 nice breasts, and most of us who like to eat chicken breasts know that they're very expensive. But when you buy it this way, you can save a ton of money. All right, so what I'm going to do is show you step by step how to deconstruct a chicken. So I guess first thing you want to know is what is all on the chicken. Okay, we have wings. Okay, the bird walks like this. He's on his little chicken legs, which are now removed, and his wings are sitting back here like this, and he's walking. Okay, so this is the shape of the bird as it would be natural. But we always see it like a turkey or a chicken this way. Okay, so we have wing tips. Okay, there's really no meat in there. It's just bone, connective tissue, and skin. You have the wing flats, okay, just like when you go out for chicken wings. And then running down in here and connecting, you have the drumette, okay, the wing drumette. Altogether, this comprises the whole wing. Okay, it's a 3-piece system of the wing. Then on the front, you have the 2 breasts, okay, and then, of course, your 2 legs, which are broken into 2 parts. You have your drumstick, and you have your thigh. Most of you probably know your lean meat is the breast. There is no intermuscular fat, and it is a very beautifully lean, high-protein piece of meat. Your legs will have some fat sort of dispersed throughout the meat. They're not right in the meat like beef would be, but sort of just connected all around. There's higher fat content, and of course, dark meat has a higher calorie, a richer meat, but nice and moist. There's certainly nothing wrong with using that. So that's the components of the chicken. Okay, then we got a big chunk of fat in the back end here where the cavity is. Okay, this is where all the guts would be. You know, they eviscerate it, they leave that out. You want to make sure that that's clear and clean of any sort of organs if you are going to roast it. It's always a good idea. You never know what kind of bacteria there could be. It's not a huge deal if you cook it fully, but always good to rinse that out and make sure all the parts of the organ are out. So the first thing we do, guys, and I want to let you know that this process of breaking down a chicken is the exact same for a turkey or a duck, any bird, even a little quails, same idea. They're all built the same with the same structure. So what I like to do when I'm deboning, breaking down a chicken, is I like to start with the legs. So what I have here, if you can see, there's a very thin membrane of skin. Okay, there's nothing in there but skin, and that's going to show me where I want to make my first cut. I'm going to poke through that skin with my knife, and it's really good if you have a boning knife or a somewhat rigid fillet knife would work, but if you don't, whatever knife you have is going to work. So once I've cut through that skin, all I have to do is simply grab this leg right by here, kind of holding my thumb over top of the joint right here, and I'm going to just hold the bird firmly, and I'm going to pop and dislocate its leg from its body, from its back, and you'll feel it and you'll hear it, and it's a fine sound, and you'll love it. And it makes a sound, and now you'll see that joint is popped out. That gives me a guideline as to where I want to slice to remove this leg completely. So I start right back in here behind the joint, and I just lightly, watching my fingers that I don't slice myself, come in behind the bone and follow the backbone of the bird. And if you're cutting bone, move the knife until you find flesh, and the leg will remove itself completely. What you'll usually take with it is a big chunk of fat. that can just be trimmed off. You'll see what's the fat. The fat is white, the meat is pink. You can leave some fat on if you like, or you can trim it as lean as you like. I like to take off this side chunk of fat here. And what I'm left with is a chicken leg, just like you see in the store. Okay? You can further take this piece of meat and find the joint where it's like a knee, right there. If you find that joint, you lay the knife down there and you just start to saw, and you'll feel that will come right in half. This is a very small chicken, so I get a small thigh and a small drumstick. So you have your drumstick, good for barbecuing, whatever. Save these up, you know, marinate them, throw them on the barbecue or in the oven. That's awesome, right? You also have a skin-on, bone-in thigh. You can barbecue that or roast that in the oven just as it is, or you can debone it. It's a little bit more of a lengthy process, deboning a leg. I'll show you on another leg. But once you debone it, then you have just a nice piece of dark turkey meat, or chicken meat. So I'll just quickly do the same with the other side. Again, we slice through this skin, opening up that cavity. We pop and dislocate the leg till that bone exposed. We'll come in behind it and just slice with our knife all the way up. Again, just quickly removing any surplus fat. What we're left with now, guys, is a legless bird, 2 breasts and wings. So, at this point, I like to do the breasts, okay? So I just kind of smooth it out so I can see where the center line is. And if I feel down that with my finger, I can feel that cartilage of the breastbone. And what I want to do is I want to cut along down the left side of that to remove the left breast. So I use my finger as a guide, and I feel that center point. It sort of sticks out. And you just use your finger as a guide, lay the knife there, and make a slice from the top, lightly, not all the way through, just lightly all the way down to the bottom. Then you can open it up, as you see, and you can sort of just see where the meat is against the cartilage. And you just take your knife, and with very little pressure, just sort of trace and slice that meat off the bone. So again, I just want to take that knife and lightly slice, and sort of pulling back on the meat gently. As I just drag the knife, that meat will sort of pull away from the bone. And I can see right in there, there are some of the parts of the bone structure of the rib cage. And I just want to follow that bone structure lightly with my knife, and that meat just shaves off. And I get to this point now where the breast is removed, but it's still connected up top. And I'm just going to take my knife very carefully and just follow it until I find that chicken wing drumette bone. And I just go around it, and I'll feel if there's a bone. I just move the knife until I can feel flesh again and just continue my slice. And there you see we have a beautiful skin-on breast of chicken with the fillet underneath, okay? If that comes off, cut it out later and save it, because that's the nicest piece of the meat in there. But if you can keep it attached to the chicken, that's nice too. If you don't want the skin on there, if you're going to leave the skin on, it's nice to roast. But if you don't want the skin, it just simply peels off very easily. And you can just throw that in the garbage. It's not really much you want to use that for. So we have a nice, lean, skinless, boneless chicken breast. So again, I'll show you on the other side now. It's the same concept. Okay, we're just going to guide down that breastbone. Okay, I like to turn it around for this side, because it's just the way I'm right-handed. And I just trace that meat along the bone, pulling it gently. And I come in behind and just take it off, just like that, again. Okay, now I'm left with the carcass and the wings. Nice and easy. All I need to do now to remove the chicken wing, this guy's got a broken wing. Somebody was a little bit abusive with it when they were processing it. That's probably how that happened. But that's okay. What I'm going to do is see that joint right in there. I'm just going to cut in behind it until I find the soft spot and just slice right through. So at this point, I have a 3-point chicken wing, which I can now split right here where they join again. I find that little valley, that little soft spot in between the joint, and the knife will go right through there, just like that. And then I do the same for the tip. I find that little crevice, put the knife in there, and just crunch through there. You can use a little force for the tip because it's a lot of bone. So now I have the tip, which is useless, and the 2 chicken wings, the drumette and the flat. Okay, I'll show you again. This one's not broken. It'll be a little nicer to use. So I just hold that wing, take the knife in behind, find the soft spot and pull it through. Again, find that valley, put the knife tip on, pull it through, and again, pull it through. 2 chicken wings, chicken tips. So now I have 2 breasts, 2 legs, I have some tips, some wings, and I have this leftover carcass. So you got a couple options here. If you don't want this, you can throw it away, but this makes great soup, or you can save a bunch of them and make a stock. So you can put them all in a pot, cover them with water, bring them up to a boil, and make a nice chicken stock, which I'll probably tell you about another day. So what I want to show you guys, while I can, real quick. Now this is a little bit more advanced and a little bit more difficult, and you do need to be very careful because your chance of cutting yourself is a little greater doing this. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the bone from this piece of chicken so that we have a boneless piece of dark meat that we can chop up for stews, soups, whatever. So the first thing we need to do is remove the skin. So we start at the back side here, and it just peels off like a glove. Right to the end. It's slippery, so sometimes you can grab it with a paper towel or just pinch it. And now we've got a skinless chicken leg. Okay, so it's good if you're going to eat the chicken leg, remove the skin, you're going to save some calories there. This looks very much like rabbit. And in fact, cleaning rabbit is very similar to this as well. So now we're going to take this chicken leg, I'm going to flip it over to the bone side up. Okay, I'll move this here so you can get a decent view. And let me just adjust the camera lens here. Okay. So what we want to do is find the bone right along here, and we're going to take the knife and just trace the bone down till we see the bone. Once we see the bone, we'll take our fingers, like a little pinch, put it on the bone and push down and sort of get underneath in there and peel that bone out. Now I've got that chicken, that's just all meat. That's the easy part. The next part, I'm going to do the other bone down this side. So I'll do the knife again, slicing down right to the bone, exposing the bone, doing the pinch, okay, and pulling out that bone. And I want to take the knife and stick it through that little hole and slice. You want to try to make sure you avoid getting all those tendons, especially when you're working with larger birds like turkey. At this point, you just need to grab this meat and just sort of tracing around the joint so you don't get too much bone in there. Just sort of make little slices and sort of carve it off the bone. And if you get a little bit of bone or cartilage fragments on your meat, just cut them off at the end. You just sort of trace and pull. See, there's a little cartilage. So I'll just kind of try to get underneath that. And there we go. Again, so now you have a chicken bone. You can throw that in your soup stock pot. And then you have this piece of meat, just like that. Okay, you can ball it up like that, just how you see them in the store. Okay, or you can roast them that way, or you can chop them up and make stews, soups, whatever. Guys, I hope that that was clear for you. It takes practice. Don't expect to be able to do it easily on your first bird. But I'll tell you, if you can do this, you will save a ton of money. You buy chickens when they're on sale, and you don't buy 2 or 3, you buy 6 or 8. You know, you put on some music, sit in the kitchen, and you break down 8 or 9 birds, and you package it and freeze it. Your cost per pound is going to be literally, you know, anywhere from 25 to 50% less than what you would buy if you were buying, you know, the processed breasts or the processed legs. You're going to save a lot of money, you know. And not only that, but if you're out in the woods and you catch yourself a bird of any form, you're going to want to know how to, you know, process it. But that's a whole different story anyways. But anyways, guys, I thought this would be a good technique for you guys to use to save yourself some money and maybe be able to afford buying leaner meat by buying the whole bird. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you later.